If I had stopped that night, I don't think I'd be here right now. And when I told the sheriff what happened, he just looked at me and said, "Yeah, that's what it looks like." Then he stopped talking. This happened in 2022, in August. I was running a load up through Montana. Not my usual route. I mostly stay in the Midwest and Southwest. But a friend needed someone to cover a run. The money was good, so I took it. Flatbed, machinery parts, heading toward Great Falls. During the day, it's one of the most beautiful drives in the country. At night, it's something else. I was on Highway 2. If you've driven it, you know, miles of nothing, then something small, then nothing again. It was around 11 at night. I hadn't seen another car in at least 40 minutes. I came over a low rise and saw lights ahead, not moving, just sitting there on the road. As I got closer, I realized it was a pickup truck, older model, parked sideways across my lane with the hazards on, blocking the road. And there was a man standing in front of it, waving both arms, hard, trying to flag me down. I slowed down and stopped about 50 yards back, left my headlights on him. He looked middle-aged, wearing a heavy work coat, just standing there, waving. At first, I thought he broke down and needed help, but something felt wrong. I couldn't explain it. Just that feeling in your chest when something isn't right, because he wasn't moving. Most people, when you stop, they walk up to your window, they approach you. This guy didn't. He stayed exactly where he was, waving, like he needed me to come to him. That's when I put the truck in reverse. I didn't really have a plan. I just knew I didn't want to move forward anymore. And the second I did that, I saw him, off to my left, down in the ditch, moving through the grass, keeping pace with my truck, heading toward the back of my trailer. I don't know why I looked left in that moment. I should have been watching the man in front of me, but I looked, and the second I saw him, I understood. This wasn't a breakdown, this was a setup. And then I felt it, a shift, very slight, at the back of the flatbed. If you've driven the same truck long enough, you know every sound it makes, every weight change. Someone was on my trailer. There were 3 of them. I slammed it into reverse, hard, way harder than you're supposed to, with a loaded flatbed on a dark highway. I didn't care. I felt something drop off the back, heard it hit the road. Then I cranked the wheel, turned the truck around, and drove. I didn't look back, not for 6 miles. I was doing 85 on a road rated 465 with a full load behind me, and I didn't care about any of that. I called 911. State police showed up. By the time they got there, the pickup truck was gone. No one there. Nothing. I told them everything. The man, the second one in the ditch, the weight on the trailer. The trooper wrote it all down very carefully. Asked me exact mile markers. Wanted everything precise. Before he let me go, he said there have been other calls from this stretch of road. He didn't explain, didn't give details. He just looked at me and said you did the right thing leaving when you did. I finished the haul, got to Great Falls around 5 in the morning, slept in a truck stop with both doors locked and the engine running. Didn't tell my wife the full story for weeks, because I didn't even know how to say it out loud. 3 people, on an empty highway, at night, working together. 1 to stop you, 1 moving in from the side, 1 getting onto your truck. That's not random, that's a system. And systems like that don't just appear. They get practiced, they get refined, which means one of 2 things happened out there before me. They either got very good at it, or someone made them stop, and I honestly don't know which one is worse. Highway 2 in Montana is beautiful during the day. The sky opens up, the land goes on forever. It feels like freedom. At night, all of that space turns into darkness with no edges. And you are just one small light moving through it. And someone might already know exactly where you're going to be. If you ever come over a rise and see a vehicle blocking the road, and something in your chest tells you something's wrong, listen to it, just drive. heard something move in the back of my truck, and I knew I was alone. But when the police opened the sleeper, there was a man inside. The second story I want to tell you, and this is the one that still genuinely messes with my head when I think about it too long, happened in 2021. Spring, a Tuesday night run from Columbus, Ohio down toward Louisville. Nothing exotic. I've done that stretch probably 100 times. And before I get into it, if this is the kind of thing you want to hear more of, because there are more. There are always more from drivers on the road. It would mean a lot if you subscribe to the channel. Other drivers send these in. This is basically a collection at this point. Hit the subscribe button. Stay on the road with us, okay? So, Columbus to Louisville, Tuesday night, May. I'd had about 4 hours of sleep before the run, which is not enough, but it's not nothing. And I was maybe an hour and a half south of Columbus on 71 when I pulled over at a rest stop. Not because I was sleepy, just I had to use the restroom. I wanted to stretch. The normal stuff. Rest stop was mostly empty. One other semi pulled up on the truck's side. Cab dark, driver obviously sleeping. 2 passenger cars on the car side. I used the facilities, bought a Gatorade from the machine, walked back out, and I remember standing by my truck for a second, just breathing the night air. It was mild, mid-May, and the bugs were going loud in the trees at the back of the rest area. I remember thinking that it was actually a nice night, which is not a thought I usually have at rest stops on 71 at 1:30 in the morning. I climbed back in, checked my mirrors, drank about half the Gatorade, pulled back out onto the highway. I was maybe 3 miles down the road when I heard it, a sound from behind me, from inside the truck, from the sleeper cab. I want to be exact about this because I've told this story a few times, and I know how it sounds. It wasn't a bang or a crash. It was more like a shift in weight, the specific creak of a bunk when someone adjusts their position. I know that sound because I've slept in that sleeper cab 100 nights, and that is what it sounds like when a person moves on it. I had not slept in that bunk in 2 days. I had no passenger. I had no reason, no logical, ordinary reason for there to be anything on that bunk. I turned on the overhead light in the cab. Didn't help much. I remember my hands were shaking on the wheel, and I was telling myself it was just road vibration, something shifting in the truck. Old vehicles make noise. I have no idea how fast I was going, probably too fast. And then the curtain moved. The curtain between the cab and the sleeper, it moved. Not a lot. Not like someone threw it open. Just a shift. The same way it shifts when someone on the other side of it turns over. To be completely honest, I don't think I made a decision at that point. I put on my hazards, pulled onto the shoulder hard, and I got out of the truck. I did not think about traffic. I did not think about the fact that I was on 71 at 2 a.m. I just got out, and I walked maybe 10 yards away from the truck, and I stood there on the shoulder, shaking. A semi going north blew past me, and in the light from the headlights, I could see my truck sitting there with the hazards, blinking, and the sleeper curtain closed, and I thought, very clearly, there is someone in there. Someone got into my truck at that rest stop. Someone is in my sleeper cab right now. I called 911. I told the dispatcher I believed there was an intruder in my vehicle, gave them my location. They had a county sheriff there in about 12 minutes. He checked the truck. Took him about 30 seconds to open the curtain. There was a man in my sleeper cab. He was not small. He had a knife on him, on the bunk next to him, within reach. He'd pulled the bunk mattress up at some point and gotten underneath it. That's why I hadn't seen him when I got in. This happened in early summer, around June. I was driving a box truck, not a semi this time, just a straight truck, hauling packaged goods from St. Louis up toward Chicago. Nothing unusual, just another routine run I'd done plenty of times before. The truck was loaded and sealed at the warehouse. I watched them close it, watched them lock it. No one inside. I'm sure of that, because I checked it myself before I pulled out. Quick walk through the cargo area, just to be certain. Standard habit. Everything was stacked tight, wrapped in plastic, secured properly. Quiet, normal, no movement, no sound except the faint echo of my own steps. I shut the doors, locked them, and got in the cab. I hit the road around 9 p.m. At first, traffic was steady, cars passing, headlights everywhere, but hour by hour, it thinned out. By midnight, it was just me, the road, and the constant hum of the engine. That kind of silence gets heavy after a while. Somewhere about an hour outside of Chicago, I heard it from the back. At first I ignored it. Cargo shifts sometimes. Roads aren't perfect. Then it came again. 3 knocks. Clear. Even. Deliberate. Not random. Not boxers. Knocks. I reached over and turned the radio off. The silence filled the cab instantly. I listened. Nothing. For about 10 seconds. Then dash again. 3 knocks. From inside the cargo area. I said no, out loud. Quiet, but firm. Like saying it would make it stop. It didn't. My hands tightened on the wheel. I pressed down on the gas without even thinking. The road ahead was empty now. Just darkness stretching forward. Then it changed. The sound wasn't at the very back anymore. It was closer. Not by much, but enough. Enough that I noticed immediately. Enough that something inside me went cold, because nothing in that truck should be moving. Nothing. I grabbed my phone. Thought about calling someone. Dispatch. Police. Anyone. But what do you even say? Something is knocking from inside my truck. It sounded insane, so I didn't call. I just kept driving, because stopping felt worse. Pulling over in the dark, alone, with whatever that was behind me. No. Then a loud bang, right behind the cab. The whole truck shook. Something slammed into the wall hard enough to make me flinch, and then silence for a second. And after that, I heard it breathing. Muffled. Heavy. Close. Right. On the other side of that wall. That's when the fear hit. Real fear. Cold and sharp. Didn't think anymore. I took the next exit. Immediately. Gas station. Bright. Lights. People. That's all I wanted. I pulled in fast. Parked near the entrance. Left the engine running. Door open. I went straight inside. Told the cashier to call the police. I didn't go near the back. Didn't even look at it. Police arrived in about 10 minutes. Felt much longer. 2 officers. I told them everything. Every knock. Every sound. They didn't laugh. That part stayed with me. One of them walked to the back. Checked the lock. Still. Sealed. Exactly how it was. He looked at his partner. Then they opened it. The doors swung open. Slowly. At first. Nothing. Just rows of boxers. Still. Quiet. Like nothing had ever happened. Then, one officer climbed inside. Carefully. Moved a pallet. Shined his flashlight into the gap between stacks. And said, "Get back." They pulled a man out from inside. Thin. Covered in sweat. Breathing hard. He'd been wedged between the pallets the entire time. Hidden. He must have gotten in before the truck was sealed, before anyone noticed. Before I checked, and while I was driving, he was moving. Slowly. Closer. The officer later told me this happens more than people think. People hide in trucks, ride for miles. But this is the part I can't shake. When they pulled him out, he wasn't scared. He wasn't panicking. He looked calm. And when they walked him past me, he smiled, just slightly, like he knew I'd heard him. Like that was the point. I finished the run, dropped the truck. But now, every time I hear something behind me, even just a loose box shifting, don't ignore it. I listen. Because once you've heard knocking from inside your own truck, you don't forget it.